right, it's our tech discussion for this Thursday morning. We've got Oluwatobi Alli. If I wanted to put it into one phrase, what he is, he's a multifaceted leader who's passionate about empowering others. That's a very short form. You can check him later and ask for the longer form. But it's great to have you. You're welcome.
Always nice being with you.
All right. So last week, we had the first part of leveraging technology for smart financial decisions in challenging times. Can we do a little recap of what we said last week?
Yeah, so what we said, some of the things we said is that it is your responsibility to make financial decisions, right? Tech only enables you to do that. So tech is not just something that is like a magic wand that just makes everything work for you. You must know the right financial decisions to make. Then now leverage tech to ensure that you make some of those decisions. And some of the few things we talked about last time was, number one, in this kind of challenging times, it's very important for you to have cash flow. And what we mean by cash flow is you have to know how your money is moving, and there's a way you also have to improve the flow of your money, which is something that we are also going to discuss. And we talked also about a need to save. You know, that it's, if you have, you know, if there are many apps, of course, that help you save. For instance, there's even one feature I use quite a lot in one of the bank apps I use, which is Kuda. I think it's called Spend and Save. So every percentage of money that I spend, there is always a percentage that I save. So for my own calculation is 20%. So no matter how much it is I spend, I automatically save 20% of that. And that always comes in handy one way or the other, because, and another thing I think we also mentioned last week was about tracking our expenses, because what happens many times is that you'd have spent a whole lot without you knowing. But if there is a way you can tag your expenses, you'll be able to even know where you are wasting money, so that, you know, next time you'll be able to allot your resources.
You know, that's what people talk about when budgeting comes in, and
yes,
they
exactly.
tell you that, okay, the money I have, if I earn 100,000 naira in a month, I spend more than 100,000 naira.
Exactly.
What's the point of budgeting? What really is the point of budgeting? Now there's smart budgeting. You have apps. You mentioned some apps where you can use to track your expenses, you know. But really, what is the point of budgeting in a case where somebody says, the money I even have is not enough? How can budgeting help in this particular scenario?
Okay, so this is a simple thing I would do. And I think I will encourage everyone to do this experiment. Every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, go to your app, download your bank statement. You'll be quite amazed to find out the amount of money that has entered and left your account. The first time I did this, I did not even know then that I was already a millionaire until I did this. In fact, there was a month I found out I spent about, was it about 3 million? And in fact, I did not know. So what budgeting does is it lets you know the real state of affairs of your finances. And many times, the money that people should have used to better their life, they've spent it on useless things just because they did not take, they did not observe their finances.
We've eaten our future.
Of course.
Food.
Let's even do a calculation. Imagine you spend 3-5 on shawarma and you do that every day. Do you know how much you probably have spent at the end of the month?
That shawarma, they will add some toppings. So you're looking at, I'm telling you, it's not you add Coke or something and all of that. Yeah. I am telling you, because then you make one order, you know, you have the apps now.
Exactly.
Makes it much easier.
Exactly. And you pay for delivery, all those small things.
This is me personal, yes. Last month, there was a service fee, this thing. I told myself I was not going to download this app. I knew when that app particularly came out. But something happened, and I was at this space where I wasn't always around and all that. And then I just downloaded it, and before you know, in last month, I don't want to go and check what I spent on that particular app just for food alone, because I had to go, order. You're paying service fee, you're paying delivery charge, and then just going. Sometimes you make as much as 3 orders a day. You're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And you know, for instance, if you are not careful, one day you are trying to make a payment, and in your mind you think you have this XYZ amount of money in your account, not knowing that it has been depleted because you did not budget.
Now, you mentioned about growing your income just now, and you said you wanted to talk about it. How does one go about that? With technology in mind.
So, still talking about cash flow, I need us to think about cash flow like a river, right? So, imagine a river is flowing, right? As long as there is enough volume of water in that river that is flowing in that river, it will keep flowing. Now, if you do not check that flow, chances are that that river is going to go dry. And that means that everything that is supposed to survive with that river, which is the plants, the fish, are going to die. So picture your money as that river, and picture your life as the ecosystem that money
around
flows
that.
into.
Yeah.
Now, how this works is that your savings, using apps to save, what it does is it gives you a reservoir of water. It gives you a reservoir of money to be able to take care of your expenses. Now, that in itself will not be enough, because if you just have a reservoir and there's some part that is flowing, if there's no more money flowing into your life, which is if there's no more water flowing into that river, it's going to run dry. So some of the things you use to do that is investment. That's why there are apps that invest. For instance, in fact, do you know that the meaning of the word Jawo, which is our company,
Yes,
Jawo.io, actually means make money?
Okay.
Right? So when you hear someone say, but when you Jawo on the street, meaning they are making money.
Okay.
So the apps like ours have like investments where, for instance, there is a plan we have that gives you 3% of your money every month. So
anything you put inside?
Yes. So what that means is 3% times 12. 3% times 12, just do the
36,
maths.
yeah.
That's something that comes into your money. So when you are having
for you not doing anything, it's just there rather
passive income
in savings and all of that.
Passive
it's just
income.
there.
Exactly, passive income. Because what that money does is that money is actually not just staying. That money is flowing, investing into other businesses. That
so savings into investment. After you save first, you know, of course, you reminded me of one of the best books I've read, Richest Man in Babylon, by George Clason. So you from savings, after you've saved, then you have to move into investment. So you don't just keep it on and all of that.
Now, another thing I want to touch on, and this one is what many people run away from, and I will not deceive you. I will not deceive you. I also used to run away from this until I understood what it is. And do you know what this is? This is debt. Loans.
Loans. Wow.
A lot of people, when you hear the word loan, they're always afraid.
Yeah.
Their heart is always pumping. But do you know that in trying times, loans are actually a savior? They provide you funds for emergency. And apart from that, they make cash flow even much more superlative. And let me give you a good example. The only mistake people make is that when it comes to loans, you are not, during financial hardship times, you don't take a loan to pay rent. You don't take a loan to buy hair. You only take a loan to do two things, which I'll be talking on as we go on.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wish we had time. You know, we'll continue with this. We still have you for 2 more weeks. We'll continue with this. I also wanted to mention where people are taking loans to bet, because that's something big
gambling.
now. A lot of these loan apps, and you know, there was this part, we'll continue. Let's focus on loan next week, where, you know, they get your contacts and they start bombarding your, you know, there were some regulations about that and all of that. It's quite a lot.
Sure odds that will make your life odd.
So, you know what, we're going to focus on loans, I know, from technological aspect next week, because we have run out of time. Toby, Alli, it's always a pleasure talking to you. There's always so much to learn. All right, thank you so much. We'll see. We'll continue with this. All right. Hope you're able to pick something from that. We'll pick up and continue when it comes to loans next week.